reboot the stream. Tell me if the audio is working, because that would be amazing. I didn't realise the audio wasn't working, to be honest. Yeah, no, that doesn't normally happen. Hold up. Let me check everything's just... Everything should be on as far as I'm aware. You boys tell me if something's not working, please, because as far as I'm aware, everything's working now. We rebooted. It can happen that sometimes. It's OBS, not me, so I will apologise on that.
Hold up, let me check it.
Yeah, it's working now. Sound. The audio is working. Fine. Yeah, no, I didn't realise the audio wasn't working. Anyway, we'll get back to what we were saying about Kevin De Bruyne. I do think he should be okay for Saturday. So, yeah. No, that's OBS is bad. I'm sorry about that, boys. Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. I do think De Bruyne plays Saturday, but it's hard. Like I've said. It's a bit of an iffy one right now with Kevin De Bruyne. I can't really promise he's going to start, but I do think he should be okay for Saturday. It doesn't seem like it's a major illness that's going to set him back a mile, but we will have to see. But it is pretty interesting with De Bruyne right now. It is pretty interesting. Yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah, no, we will see. Yeah, no, it would be nice to see De Bruyne start. I think it would be a great thing for us if De Bruyne would start, boys. We'll have to see though. Yes, we have audio now. Yes, we have audio now. I didn't realise, to be honest. If you've got headphones, Pratik, you can put headphones in, bro. I was just saying about De Bruyne. I don't think he's I don't see any reason why he won't play Saturday. I don't think his illness is as major as people think. I feel it's just going to be a slight illness and it's not going to be something that he won't just brush off and play. I do think he'll play, like I said, but I can't see him playing the whole game. I think he'll play 45 minutes of the game. And I think he'll come on at half time. I do think you'll find he'll probably be benched. But he will play. Captain this week, I'm captain Salah, not Saka, due to the fact that I do feel Saka will bag at least 15 points, but Salah's got that potential to all of a sudden just go and bag a 25, 20 points in a week. It's Salah, man. He can score a hat-trick one week and then that's it, you know. The next week he score a goal and he's on 25 points, so I do feel he will be a massive rank gainer for me this week, Salah. I am quite happy the audio's back up. That was an error on OBS's part, not my part. I had all the audio and everything set up before the stream, so I will apologise on that, boys. I would like to know what you boys are thinking of captaining this week, as I am quite torn between Saka and Salah still. It is very close, so it could change by tomorrow's deadline. But to be honest, I think I'm quite locked in on Salah at the moment, so we'll have to see. With the Haaland, I wouldn't be captaining Haaland this week. I do get the fact he could be bagging 2 goals, you know, versus Bournemouth, but I think with KDB missing, I think for at least half the game, I can only see KDB playing 45 minutes. And that's if he even recovers from his illness at all, which I do think he will. Just not to be able to play the full match, fitness-wise. Lewis, I could see him playing this week. Hopefully Pep will not keep benching him because he's a great little player. And I brought him in for Botman a couple of weeks ago, he's not played yet, so that was a bit of an iffy one. I'm hoping... Saka captain. I'm hoping we've at least got 9 players playing this week. I think Kepa, White, Odegaard, Saka, Somerville, Salah, Haaland, Kane are nailed. Patterson, I think, should play one of those games. Mitrovic should be able to play that game, I think. And it's whether Lewis is going to play or not. Obviously, I don't want to take hits this week, so I think if I've got 9 players playing, then I'll be happy with that. If I've got 8 players playing at the minimum, I'll be happy with that. So I just don't want to be taking hits this week. And I think Salah will save the week in the terms of I'm not taking hits to bring loads more players in to guarantee 11 or 10. So Salah will make up for those points, as well as Kane should be able to bag a couple of goals versus Chelsea. Because Chelsea are in very poor form with the amount of money they've spent. What I will say is I don't think it's fair what people are saying with the Potter concerns. I do think Potter should be sacked, but at the same time, it's not the manager's fault. He's not bought the players the owner has. I know that it's the manager's job to do something with them, but it's the owner's fault for buying all those players and spending all that money in the first place. You can't expect results straight away. You've got all these new players that are going to take at least a season to gel. So I think if you expect results straight away with Chelsea, as that owner, I think that's a bit of a stupid decision. And personally, I would not have gone and spent all that money, because I think the side was decent enough. Mudryk and Felix probably would have been the only buys I would have made. I don't think I would have bought Enzo Fernandez. As much as he's a solid player, I just don't think that 112 million or whatever they spent on him was, 120 million or whatever. I don't think it was worth it. But yeah, no, it's a tight situation to go on about, to be honest. I'm surprised we ain't got no mods in here today yet. We are waiting though. Yeah, like I said there, boys, Game Week 28 will be our wild card by the looks of it, and we'll bench boost 29. But I've had that plan to wild card Game Week 28 since Game Week 4, because I knew there would be double game weeks in 29, because there always is. So the plan had been pretty much the whole season to second wild card 28 and bench boost 29. I do wish I saved my free hit earlier, but then I did use it at a situation that was beneficial to an extent, so I don't regret it. Triple captain chip didn't go great for me. I had Haaland for 8. To be honest, my triple captain chip never goes well. I always end up picking the one who will get the lowest points, so I'm not too bothered. Triple captain's not a massive thing, and it doesn't tend to affect your rank or your points a ridiculous amount anyway. So if you have used it on someone daft like Haaland on an 8-pointer or Salah on a 6-pointer or something stupid, I won't worry about it. My mate triple captain Saka on that 15 after the Rashford 20. Because Rashford got 20 that week, and he had Saka 15, which wasn't too bad. I know it was the week after or that week, I can't remember, but as long as you've at least got, I'd say, minimum 6 points at your triple captain, I'd never worry too much about it. It's when it goes a lot worse than that. Like, I've had triple captains where I've captained them and they've got like 4 points, so it's been a right toss-up. Haaland's been inconsistent recently. I do feel we might get punished a little bit with a couple of goals at Bournemouth. I just can't see him outscoring Salah or Saka. I do feel Salah could go into some ridiculously good form this week and surprise a lot of people. There is the rumours though he might not play the full game versus Crystal Palace. But I did have a think of that into my own head, and I thought, you know what, Jota's going to play. Nunez will be benched due to shoulder injury. Gakpo will play, and I can't see Firmino starting, so he might play Salah up front, with Jota on the right and Gakpo on the left. And obviously play the midfield behind and put Nunez on eventually at some point in the game if he's fit. But yeah, no. I do see Patterson returning to the Everton side, but the only problem is Dyche does prefer Michaelenko at the moment, so it is the debate of whether Patterson will start or not, but I could see him start in one of those games. I do feel he should start one of those games. If he starts the Villa game for 60 minutes, I could see Everton getting a clean sheet that game, and that'd be lovely for me. And then even if he didn't play the Arsenal game, you know, just that 3.5% ownership would be amazing. Tarkowski is a great player this week if you've got a transfer and you want to get rid of a defender, but you've got a free transfer. I think it's a great player to bring in Tarkowski this week. Obviously, we're saving Shaw, Rashford, Trippier. Ward's on the bench versus Arsenal, obviously, and I'm playing Kepa versus Tottenham. I know Kepa's not going to get a clean sheet. I know Kane will score, but I know Ward ain't going to get a clean sheet versus Arsenal either. So I think I'll just go on who I think will get the most points, and that'll be Kepa for me. Just because of his save points, and I do feel if there was penalties between Ward and Kepa, Kepa has got the more likely chance of saving a penalty. So I think I would stick with Kepa for that reason. Obviously it could backfire and I'll take like maybe a -1 point because of him, but if that is the case, I don't think I'd be too mad, to be honest with you, because I've made that call, so I do think it pays off though, to be honest. I do think it pays off. I do think it does. But yeah, no. Well, we'll have to see, boys, to be honest, what's going to happen. I'm assuming you're captaining Saka Pratik. A lot of people are captaining Saka this week. I do still think Salah edges it for me, though. It's iffy, though, like I said. But I do think Salah slightly edges the captain pick for me. And I do think you'll find more people will captain Saka and Haaland, so it does give me that underdog advantage to even clear more points in my mini league. I'm more to like 25 in front of second than 28 in front of third, but I do feel clearing a load more points would be necessary. Obviously, the last couple of weeks he had 6, I'm at 11. So I do feel it looks like after this that Liverpool might actually have like a nice streak like they did here in the season. And then go back to that. So I do feel it might be a thing where Salah will start picking up these 15 to 12 2-point points. So I do see him picking up some points. It's just whether he's going to pick up more than Saka. But just owning Saka alone, I think, will pretty much save me. Even if Saka gets 15, Salah gets 12, I'm losing out on 3 points. I don't think that would affect my rank, considering I own Saka anyway. So I am going to pretty much, I think, stick with the Salah captain and just hope it pays off. I think I end up making rash decisions and changing my captain, and I always regret it. So I think for me, I'll stick with Salah. Because I did it to Rashford last week. I had Rashford captain. I changed it to Haaland last minute. And Rashford bags. So I think I'll stick with my gut. And my gut tells me Salah this week. So that will be the captain I'll be recommending is Salah. If you've got Salah and Saka, I'd definitely go Salah this week. For me. There are you people who are still captain Haaland. I'm not doing it. I'm definitely going to be nailed on captain in Salah. I won't do Saka. But he will be my vice captain though. But Salah should play both those games. I don't see any reason why not. And Crystal Palace's defence is pretty shaky still for me. And so is Wolves. I know Wolves come off that win to Liverpool, but I could see Salah bagging a couple goals versus Wolves and a goal versus Crystal Palace, which is why I can see him as a great captain option. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how well Salah's going to do. He does look like he's picking up form though. I mean, if you boys watched the Real Madrid-Liverpool game the other night, you wanted to see the Vinicius Junior goals, man. They were phenomenal. Like, I know Liverpool were up 2-0 and they lost 5-2 and it does seem a bit iffy, but Salah was still involved with a goal and an assist, so that just indicates to me that he's not in bad form. You know, Liverpool ain't in bad form, they just went against Real Madrid, who, let's be fair, are a better side. I feel Alisson does need to be dropped from that goalkeeper spot, though, for me. Because I do feel he's not the best goalkeeper at all for Liverpool. I think they do need a new goalkeeper as of now because, let's be crucially honest, he's not been phenomenal at all. He's not been great. He's been mediocre at best. So I just don't think it's worth keeping him. So yeah, no. I do think it's a bit of a weird one. I do think it will be interesting though this week. The Saka versus Salah captaincy. I do think it's a bit of an interesting one. Which is nice. Because you don't see many interesting ones very often. Which is a nice sight to see. But yeah, no, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But no, yeah, no, it's a hard one, like I said. We'll have to see. I'm predicted for this week on points. I'm predicted 97.2 points. Is what I'm predicted. Assuming that prediction's assuming Mitrovic starts, assuming Rico Lewis will play, assuming Patterson will play a game. That's the assumption for those points. If not, without those three playing, I will be predicted about an 82 point score. So I do think it's a weird one. I do feel Somerville will surprise everyone this week, as I brought him in for Amron. He got 3 last week, clean sheet. Not clean sheet, or did he get bonus? No, I think he got bonus points because they didn't keep a clean sheet versus Everton, did they? Or did they beat Everton? I can't remember, to be honest. No, they lost. So he must have had... Oh no, he had the clean sheet point, that's right. Because he only played the 60 minutes. But Somerville, I do feel, is that kind of player that can really bag some goals and is a bit of an under-the-radar player. So that's why I did bring him in for Amron on my bench. I think at 4.2 mil, he's not a bad player to cover. He's cheaper than Andreas. He allowed me to bring in other players I needed to bring in. And no one owns him. I could see him bagging. He has his occasional game where he gets like 4, 7, 13, 7, 6 points, you know. So I do think once Leeds are back on form, he will start scoring. And I could see him scoring versus Southampton or assisting because, let's be fair, Southampton ain't a phenomenal side. So I don't think it's really a bad pick. Mitrovic, I could definitely see him scoring versus Wolves. If he starts, he will end all this 2.0005, all that BS. He's going to end it all and he'll start scoring versus Wolves. So I do feel anyone who's getting rid of him is a bit of a harsh move. Because if he starts, he will punish. He has gone down in price, which is a bit of a shame. Because he was at like 7.2 at one point, 7.1. But I've just kept him in. As much as I've lost like 3-point money on Mitrovic, I've kept him in for the sure reason of I do think he'll start scoring again and people will buy him in again. The way I see with this game, I always make money on the players and I always have the right players at the right time. Like with Shaw, a lot of people are getting rid of him and he'll probably go down in price. But am I mad about it? No. I won't be mad about it, and the reason is, if his ownership goes down to, let's say, 15-18% and loads of people get rid of him, and then he starts bagging the minute he's back, I've gained even more rank just by holding on to him. So I do feel don't rush out the players. Do not be selling your likes of Shaw, Rashford, Trippier. Only sell Bruno Fernandes if you can't bench him because you want to keep Shaw, Rashford, Trippier on the bench, for example, and you want Salah. What up, Abraham, bro? How's your day going, man? How's your day going? Hope you're having a nice day. We were just going on about the captain options for this week. Predicted points for this week and whether De Bruyne's going to play and so forth. We were just on about as well who to sell, who to bench, who to use to cover for the blank week. I was just saying no one to sell Shaw, Rashford or Trippier. And if you do want to sell Shaw and you've got Bruno Fernandes or Shaw, I'd keep Bruno unless you're going to Salah. Because Bruno Fernandes has been in great form. I will most likely go back into Bruno Fernandes game week 28, even though the blank, and put him on the bench for game week 29. As we should have a double game week in 29. And Bruno Fernandes is phenomenal form right now. But hey, I'm a Man United fan, so I'm going to be a little bit biased. But no, how's your team going, Abraham? I hope your FPL season's going pretty good. I know mine's going pretty decent. Pratik's is going slightly better than mine. Obviously, I'm sitting currently at 704k rank. Last year I was 250k rank by this point and I finished in the top 1k last year. So we are striving for some goals again this year. I don't think I'm going to get a top 1k finish like last year, but I think if I can aim for the top 250, top 100k by end of the season, I'll be quite pleased with that. But we'll see. I do think that'd be a nice rank to finish on though. Yeah, no, it'd be great. We're just hoping Salah bags this week. It's going to be iffy though. It really is. As long as Salah gets one goal, I'll be pleased. Because then that's at least, like I've said, he'll get a goal, his points, his bonus, and points. That's 12 points minimum. He'll have 1 goal. Obviously, you could say the same about Saka as well. And they probably might get more, but I do think Salah edges it because of that more assist potential as well. And you don't see Saka get assists as much as he does goals. But then at the moment in time, Arsenal don't look like they're in ridiculously phenomenal form, so it could be a case of them losing to Everton again, or possibly drawing to Everton, or drawing to Leicester. I don't think they're in as ridiculously good form. I know they played well versus Villa, but it was a bit of a late game winner, and I don't think they would have won without their own goal. I think it would have ended a draw. So, as much as I think Arsenal are playing well, there could be a 0-0 draw in there for Leicester, or Arsenal scrape with a 1-0 win. But I'd actually probably prefer Odegaard to be scoring goals over Saka, generally just because I'd want Salah to score 2, Saka 1, Odegaard 1. Because of my captaincy, but we'll have to see how it goes. I do think it's going quite well for me though, boys. I've been playing, this is not FPL Rise, but I've been playing the new Football Manager quite a bit recently, and that's been quite good. I was running Endrick on it. But no, if you boys want to ask some questions away those, we're doing a Q&A today, so if anyone wants to ask any questions about who to buy, who to sell, who to play, who to captain, just drop your comments in the below and we'll have a look at the moment in time. We're just kind of chilling for today, as we won't reach deadline tomorrow. If you boys got any questions, I'll try and get them in today, because I won't be able to answer tomorrow. It's the one time where I'll actually be too busy to even look at the comments, so if you boys want to get your questions in, I'll get them in there. But yeah, no, I do think De Bruyne, like I've said before, is going to start for 45 minutes. We'll look at Twitter in a bit, see if we get some news on there. I can show you. I'll show you the. If you're still on the critique and you're watching, you can watch the finger sec. I'll show you my current league. This is my current family league at the minute. So I'm currently 25 points here, 28 points here, and 59 here. So it's going quite well. Quite a good chunk above, which is nice to see, to be honest. I'm making some pretty good comebacks, considering I was like 70-something points behind at the start. To come above and be 20-something points behind second, 20-something points behind third, and like 80 points and 100 points. So, no, 59 points and 100 points. So I've done quite well, to be honest, for me. Is it 100 points or is it? No, I think it's like 90 points actually, or 87 points, yeah, not 100. But yeah, no, it's been quite a close one. This is the one year where people are actually starting to catch up with me in the fantasy leagues, because I'm normally way atop by at least 120, 150 points by now, and I actually had to catch up a bit this year, which just shows I was slacking a little bit. I've took more hits than I wanted to this year. I think I took like minus 32, minus 28 in hits altogether this year, which is a lot more than usual. I've normally only took like a minus 8 by this point of the season, so it just shows between my 1k finish last year and this year it's been a lot iffier. The hits have paid off 90% of the time, and there have been a couple of hits that have been iffy, but most of them have paid off. I think I did take a hit for Rashford one of the weeks, so he didn't play. Which that was, I think, when the Queen passed away, obviously, and we had this game cancelled. So I think that was the only hit for me that hadn't paid off, that backfired a bit. See, De Bruyne to Bruno Fernandes for that double week definitely paid off, because Bruno got 10 that week, blanked the week after for free, De Bruyne got 15, but then Bruno went and pulled out a 12-pointer, and De Bruyne got a blank, so all in all, he's made me about 7 points, roughly. Minus the 3 there, plus you got that. De Bruyne got 17, 19. So he's maybe like 5 points, 6 points. So it was definitely a valuable hit, considering De Bruyne got a big haul out of nowhere and Bruno was being really consistent. So with De Bruyne's illness now as well, I'm quite happy with the way it's went. And obviously I've been able to go into Salah, and it's been quite a good week. And to be honest with you, Bruno would have had an assist that one week where he blanked for only 3 points if Rashford's goal would have been disallowed, because for me it wasn't an offside goal. So it was a bit iffy. If I captained Rashford last week, I would have been at least 40-something points behind second and 40-something points behind third, you know, in my league. So we are getting there. What about 40 and 43 or 38 and 40, yeah, 38 and 41 or something. So we are getting there. I know Pratik's doing decent in your league, ain't you, Pratik? You're not far off top, aren't you? Yeah. The other week as well, Patterson played in the under-21s. He got set back a bit, but by the looks of this week, he's fairly fit, boys, so I am quite confident Patterson plays at least versus the Aston Villa game. I don't think he'll play the Arsenal game, though. I do think he'll play the Villa game. But we'll have to see. We will have to see. But no, he's predicted points a match 1.8, so Ben White gets 3.9, Haaland gets 8, and Salah gets 5.5, and in a double week, that just shows he can edge it. You know, it's all good, Pratik, bro. Don't worry about it, bro. You second, yeah. You finished your workout now? By the sounds of it, there. Or you still working out? I've got to hit gym, yes, tomorrow. Top guy's 30 points ahead, though. Yeah, but like I said, though, what are you running? By the way, have you got your free transfer for this week, Pratik? Because I know De Bruyne obviously probably will play 45 minutes this week, so I don't know if it's worth you doing. I think it probably will be worth you doing De Bruyne to Salah this week. What odds do I put on Rico starting? I'll be honest with you. The one thing I've got wrong this year was whether Rico Lewis was going to play when I bought him in. So I will apologise for that, because that's the one thing I have got wrong. I'm normally quite good at these statistics and when they're going to start. At the moment, I'd say the odds are pretty even. I'd say it's a 50-50 shot. It's just going to depend on what Pep's doing. Because to be honest with you, that whole defensive line's all over the shop. Ake was being consistent, no he's not. Akanji was consistent starting, he's not. Rico was being consistent starting, no he's not. Diaz is back, Laporte might start. John Stones might start. Palmer might start instead of Mahrez or something at one game because Pep's stupid. You've got that Gomez who could possibly start. The whole City team is ridiculous all over the shop, apart from, I'd say, Haaland and, as stupid as it sounds, Grealish are probably the most nailed players right now. I think Grealish was alright after last night. I know he went down. I think he's alright though, as far as I'm aware. You've done KDB to Salah. That's fine. That's a good move. You have one free transfer now. I think for me, Pratik, I think I'd go Salah captain if I was you. I do, because honestly, every time this man has a double week, he'll pop a 15-20 point week. So I don't think I'd sleep on the Salah captain. It is a 50-50 shot, but I do think Arsenal seems to be going down a slight bit in form, and we're quite lucky to get away with last week's win. I was pretty annoyed that I would have got 600k rank if it weren't for that Martinelli goal. So that was a bit annoying. Take a -4, even -8. Is that you're actually planning to take a hit this week? If you got your FPL ID, I'll put it in the live FPL now, and I'll have a look at your team, and I can give you some. I can tell you what I'd do if I was you, if you want. I can put it in the live FPL like I always do with most things. As long as mine's not going to go straight into it again, I don't think it will. If it is, I'm just going to log it out straight away. But yeah, no. Yeah, let's... live tools. There you go. I'll put your ID in. Gunner and me, but Salah's the right choice. I don't dislike. Go on Google, go in the Fantasy Premier League, search the league up, and then if you go onto your tabs, there should be an ID on your history above the Fantasy League with a code, and then just tell me what that is, and I'll put it in. We'll see how you're doing, because I know you're having a slightly better season than me at the moment in time. It's iffy for me though, because part of me wants to captain Salah, but my gut, Saka, but my gut's just leaning towards Salah. My head's with Saka, but my gut just says Salah. And as stupid as it sounds, I can trust him for this week. I think to pull a 15-point week. You know, it really is. It's like the Rashford and Haaland decision last week. You go one way, you're either going to get burnt or it's going to pay off, and you'll get lucky. That's all FPL is with these kind of decisions, guys. It's a 50-50 call. You get lucky or you don't get lucky. You know, I'll give you the advice that I'll do. If mine don't pay off, then mine don't pay off. It's one of those things. I think I'll do what I think I'm going to do, and that is Salah captain. Yeah, you're on your phone. Go on Safari, search FPL, log into FPL on Safari, and then you'll have... You go into your history, right, and you pull it up after you've gone in your team. You should have a little code above the above it. If not, don't worry. Just stick your team in chat. To be honest, Joe, in fact, just send me a picture on Instagram of your team, and I can do it that way. I hate having freaking Kepa and Kane. Yeah, that'll do. I don't think you can now. As far as I'm aware, you can't look it up on the app. You'll have like a... Normally there's like a barcode when you click on the... Hold on. Yeah, it's not showing it there for some reason. There's normally a barcode. Which is like, I've got a little code, look, so... Like this, look. Save. But the good thing about this is it kind of shows you your status, your impact, your safety, green arrow, you know, failed points, delivered, failed, differentials. So my differentials were Bruno Fernandes, White and Kepa. My rank went, I'm 15 off 500k. I'm not off the top 10k. My safety score was 53. I've gone from an old rank of this to a new rank of post subs, which is 704k. My change has gone for 16%. It tells me who has murdered my rank. Martinelli pretty much stopped me from going to 600k. I had a massive game with Bruno Fernandes. It pretty much will tell me my rank, my template, my midfield, my forwards, my defence, my goalkeeper points, everything here. It's going to tell me people who flopped, people who bagged. He lost me some ranks. So these are all the ranks I lost, which probably would have got me about 600k. So it is really good for that aspect, because it will show me all the data that's happened to my team in that 1 week. If that makes sense. So like Somerville come on for Rico Lewis. So I had 3 points for Somerville. He didn't play, played. Only got 2, which was a shame. I wanted more from Kepa, but he did get 3 saves. But I don't think Ward got any. No. It's not saying, so I don't think he did. I'll have a look on Instagram now. So you've got 5 million in the bank, which is quite a heftily good amount of money. Okay. The first thing I would do is do Almiron to Odegaard for your free transfer. Oh wait, no, you can't. You've got Nketiah, Saka, Gabriel, haven't you? Yeah, that's a shame. Okay. I'd be tempted I think if I was you, I'd go Almiron to Gakpo. I'd go Almiron to Gakpo. I think Gakpo and Salah would be a great double up for this week. I think Almiron to Gakpo could be a really good pick, considering Almiron blanks as well. I think that's a pretty good pick for you. I think I'd also consider going Mings. No, that's not worth doing. Yeah, I think Almiron to Gakpo is quite a good move. Yeah. I think that's what I'd do. I don't mind a Roby, but I just think it's a really risky move. I looked at it myself for a hit, but I just think it's a bit of a risky move. So I think I would go Almiron to Gakpo. So I think having, given he doesn't blank later. Yes, I know, but I don't think. Yeah, I want to keep things. Yeah, I know. I don't think, as far as I'm aware, Salah doesn't blank game at 28. Yeah, no, you can keep Mings, that's fine, I ain't bothered about it. I think I'd do Almiron to Gakpo, honestly. Or Andreas to Gakpo if you want to keep Almiron. It's a hard because there's quite some good moves, like you could do Almiron to Gakpo and Mitrovic to Joe Felix for a hit. No, I wouldn't do that. I don't think that's worth it. I think the other move could be good is Mitro to Felix for a hit. The hit could be good. I think I'd hold off on the hit for now. Let's see. Don't take any hits yet. Let me just have a look. If you do 2.2, you wouldn't have enough, would you? I was going to suggest either Almiron to Gakpo or Shaw to Trent. I can't see Salah blanking 28. I can't see it happening. And looking at your team, even if Salah and Gakpo did, you've got enough cover to bench them anyway, and you will have transfers since then. So you can always go back into KDB for 28, because I don't think City blanked 28, so. Free hit that week. Have you got your free hit, Pratik? Honestly, if you've got your free hit, I'll just free hit that week. Generally, I would free hit that week. It's the best week to free hit. For me, I don't think there's another week you could free hit, really. And then wildcard 29. Dead end your team, or dead end your team for 28. Wildcard 29, bench boost 34. Or dead end 28, free hit 29, wildcard 30. City do blank? To be honest with you, I didn't know City was blanking, to be honest. I can't remember. I did look at the graphs last night, but I can't remember everything. Hold on. Yeah, no, you're right. No, City are blanking, yeah. But to be honest, considering you'd only have Haaland, I think if you want to be ballsy, then you could. Can you afford Rico Lewis? 32 is not a massive blank. 28 is the big blank. 32 is a minor. I think 4 or 5 teams are blanking that week. 32 is not a massive week. I wouldn't worry about 32. Because we'll have news for 32. And you would have wildcarded before 32 to set up for 32 anyway. So I wouldn't worry about 32. Just yet. I wouldn't sweat 32 for now. Yeah, Joe, go Almiron to Gakpo. And if you want to do it, you could move Rico Lewis to Tarkowski. Considering Tarkowski will get 4 minutes, but you are going to probably lose out on. You're probably going to get 0 points unless Tarkowski gets a clean sheet. So you're kind of banking Everton get a clean sheet versus Aston Villa. That's the only thing I dislike. I think if you were gonna take a hit, maybe do this. Almiron to Gakpo, Andreas to Iwobi, and play Saka, Salah, Gakpo, Iwobi, Mitrovic, Nketiah, Haaland, Gabriel, Mings, Lewis, Kepa. So play 4-3-3. Because that could be a really good move. Or if you're considering the -8, then do Lewis to Tarkowski as well as doing Andreas to Iwobi. So you could do Almiron. By the way, don't consider it as a -8. Consider them each as individual -4s. So you do like Almiron to Gakpo. Almiron to Gakpo. That's one move. And then you do, let's say, Andreas to either Iwobi or Demarai Gray for a -4. So with Andreas to Iwobi, you've got that -4, so he's on 0 because he's going to get 2 points minimum. And then I could see him returning in one of those games at least, so that should pay off. And then with Tarkowski, you're going to get him in for a -4 for Lewis. So you need clean sheet versus Aston Villa, which I could see happening. So that pays off too. To then to this Arsenal with possible goal threat. I think if you're on about taking a -8, they're the biggest moves I'd do. Almiron to Gakpo, Andreas to Iwobi, Tarkowski, Lewis to Tarkowski for a -8. But you're doing individual -4. So Iwobi, Andreas to Iwobi -4. Iwobi's going to get 4 points minimum plus clean sheet point. Then he'll get hopefully bonus points and a possible return. So you pay with. I bet you'll pay off that move with probably 4 points minimum, even without a return. Tarkowski, he'll get a clean sheet, there's 2 points. If not, there's 4 points, he'll get bonus points, you'll come away with minimum 2 points. So I do think it's a good move. It's just judging whether Lewis is going to play or not with the Tarkowski move. So I think Almiron to Gakpo and Andreas to Iwobi is a good move. Maybe lay off the Tarkowski to Lewis, but it's up to you, Patik. If you're still in chat, you can tell me what you think, but I think I'd do that, to be honest. Almiron to Gakpo, Andreas to Iwobi, and Lewis to Tarkowski for a -4s, individual -4s, so -8. I do think that's a good move. It is a hard one, though. It is a hard one. To be honest, I think having Kane wouldn't be a bad move, to be honest. Maybe just do Mitrovic to Kane for a transfer and keeping the rest, and then I think what I'd do, Patik, is hold Lewis for me, because even if you're -4, you're probably only going to come away with two, maybe 3 points from Tarkowski. So I think instead of taking another -4, I think keep Lewis for this week. Yeah, just keep Lewis for this week. Because if he does, even if he doesn't play, I still think it's probably better than just taking the -4 for Tarkowski. And I do think he could come away with a couple points. So, and he might play. So I think I'd probably just hold Lewis, and then maybe do. And I'd do Almiron to Gakpo, and you could do Andreas to Iwobi for a -4 if you're feeling the Iwobi move. Because you can always play. Obviously, you're playing Mings for Villa anyway. So at the same time, I don't think you'd want Iwobi versus Villa because you're playing Mings anyway. What I think for me is you're not going to expect a clean sheet from Mings or Kepa. I think that's immediate. You're not expecting a clean sheet from them. So that's agreed. You're not expecting a clean sheet from Mings or Kepa. That's not going to happen. Mitro, that's my point. We're going to cover Mitro now. And the other move is do Mitro to Joe Felix for a -4 and Almiron to Gakpo. Because I think that will benefit you more if you do Almiron to Gakpo and Mitro to Felix. But it depends how much money you've got left. Because you could go triple Liverpool, but then that's risky because you've got to try and bench them all later on if they are blanking. But I don't see them blanking. It's whether you want to take the punt of having 3 Liverpool essentially with like Jota or Firmino, Salah, Gakpo. But I think Felix is a good move. The Felix move won't pay off immediately, but he might be able to get a goal in the week after. And considering he's not blanking 28, the -4 will pay off long term. It's not necessarily going to pay off in 1 week, but it will pay off long term. It's just whether Mitrovic will start, because I've got a gut feeling Mitrovic will play. So I don't think that -4 is definitely worth it either. I think you're tugging at strings, and I don't really see a lot of moves that really are worth the hit. I mean, a Wolves midfielder could be a good punt. Maybe a Guedes or maybe someone along those lines for a punt. I do think it's hard. I mean, yeah, no, it's hard. Coleman's not a bad move, you know. Michaelenko's been far more involved in everything's attacks than Coleman. Do you know what seems a good move? Yeah. I think that's a good move, to be honest with you. I feel Gakpo on a free transfer like that, considering Amron would have blanked, even if Gakpo only gets 4 points, I think it's worth it. And I can see Gakpo getting a goal there. So I recommend that move, yeah. I think the only other move I consider is maybe Rico Lewis, but I can't see a hit from Rico Lewis being worthy. You know, I see Mitrovic playing. I don't see any reason why Mitrovic won't play. And I think the way I see it, you've got minimum 9 players playing. Most people are going to have maximum probably 11 if they've took loads of hits. So even with your 9 players playing, essentially, if you would have took a -4, you're losing more points than it's worth, and you're hopefully debating and trying to predict someone's going to score. So I think you've got 9 players been there, minimum playing, and I think I've got 8 players minimum. Patterson might play, Mitrovic should play, Lewis might not play. So 9 players probably out of those whole 11 will play. Nice, I'll put it in there. Let me just... Have you walked back or have you got a... Hold on, let me just wait for that to... Establishing secure connection. We'll wait for that to do that. Is it going to work? Or is it going to be demented? Right. I'm hoping it doesn't just log into mine again. No, there we go. Here you are, I've got you. There we go. Oh nice, you're on 162, that ain't bad. But you've lost quite a bit of rank. That's not bad though. It's nice to know I'm only 40 something points off. Yeah, so your change has been 50%. Odegaard's killed you. Flop, Gabriel. Andreas to the right. Wasn't a great week for you last week, was it? Yeah, it wasn't a great week. Bruno Fernandes has pretty much chopped your rank in half. It's not bad though, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be too worried about that, to be honest. What are you know, 14 off the 100k mark? Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about that. I think you've lost a little bit of points there, but there was like, we had that call for me and you where it was either Rashford or Haaland, and we both had Rashford and we went the Haaland way, so that was one of those moves we probably shouldn't have done. But no, bro, that ain't too bad, bro. That ain't too bad. Bro, I didn't captain Rashford myself. I should have listened to myself and gone Rashford captain, but I changed it last minute. So, we were both in fault, mate. I didn't go Rashford cap myself. Yeah, sorry, I was just having a drink. I had Rashford captain. Literally, I changed it and literally at 10:55 to Haaland captain. I was going to come back up and change it, missed the 11 o'clock thing, and I was like, oh shite, this is going to backfire, innit? And I was like, do you know what? I even said to you I predicted 3-0, and I put Rashford on a thing to score 2 goals, and he did. And I was sat there thinking, this is going to turn into a hat-trick, this is. My rank's out the window. But somehow I managed to go from 860k rank to 708k, even without the Rashford captain. So I was like, that would have been my 500k slot right there. So yeah, it was a bit of an annoying week, to be honest. It was one of those weeks though. Like, I made one call when I had captain Salah for Bournemouth, and then Haaland bagged that week. But I went Salah against Bournemouth because you think you've got Mo Salah versus freaking Bournemouth here. He's gonna batter him, and he does jack crap versus him. Who are you captain anyway, Pratik? I'd go Salah for me. I'm staying on Salah. I'm not changing it. Saka's like Haaland. Haaland's and Saka are like the Saka's like Haaland last week. Saka's generally like Haaland. He's one of those players everyone's just going to whack the captain armband on, and he's going to be surrounded by it, and then I'm going to have Salah who's going to sneak in, bag a load of goals just like Rashford did, and my rank's going to go through the roof, and I just know what's going to happen. So I'm not changing Salah, and I'll stick with my gut. And 90% of the time, FPL is one of those things, you just go with your gut when it's a 50-50 decision, and either it don't pay off or it does, and you suck it up either way. It's one of them. When you play into wildcard, Pratik, I'll tell you my little strategy I do every year, right? And this always works for me. Although Arnold was not the wrong pick. He wasn't the wrong pick, he just didn't bag. It's like I said, it's a 50-50 call. Saka could blank, Salah could blank, one of them could bag. It's a 50-50 call. Salah's just better on paper for me and a bit more under the radar for captain. Yeah, he did mess up easy chances. I'm wildcarding. I'll tell you why I'm wildcarding 28. We will live in debate, but I think I'm going Salah. I'm sticking on Salah. It could backfire. As an Arsenal fan, I understand why. As a United fan, I don't see why I didn't captain Rashford. I think I was just scared inside, just knowing Haaland was probably going to punish me with a hat-trick, but he didn't anyway. So, I know in my head, Saka will get a goal, but I feel it's iffy. My plan was to wildcard 29, but I'm thinking wildcard 28, only have like 7 players playing that week, but then have 11 players who will double the next week, as well as 4 people doubling on my bench, and then bench boost, because you've got 15 players who will get 4 points each minimum. There's 60, yeah. Then you'll have your captain, then you'll have your clean sheets, then you'll have your bonus. You're going to get at least a 130 point week with that bench boost, and your bench is probably going to rack up 30-40 points that week. So it's logical to go and bench boost 29 and wildcard 28. And then I can manage the blanks 32 with the free transfers I'd get anyway, as well as this free transfer. Yeah, I'd get those free transfers. Yeah, 30, 31, 32 to manage 32. I don't know, bro. I think with Salah still on penalties, but I know Saka's on penalties. It's a bit iffy. I am going to end the stream there, Pratik. Okay, bruv. So we are going to end that there, man. But yeah, no. I hope you boys have a great day. I did say this is only going to be about an hour stream, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, we've talked about what we need to. I hope you boys enjoyed Deadline today. Quick reminder, I will not be on Deadline tomorrow. So yeah, I hope you boys have a great one, as well as you, Pratik. And like I said, Salah's going to be my captain this week, and that's what I'm recommending. But yeah, no. I hope you boys have a great